welcome. It's currently 30 degrees outside, so I don't want to hear shit about the sweaty mess I'm gonna be by the end of this recording. Got it? Anyways, I'm Naanless, and I'll be regurgitating this cute, beautiful, little adorable stone story. But before we get into it, a quick recap. The gang showed that they clearly don't understand the concept of guilty by association. They found the demon in Angel's skin and hit them with the full brunt of the trans agenda. The gang won fight after fight, only to be one-hit KO'd by an old businessman in his late 50s. Alright, recap over. Let's get into it. Having just been enslaved and dropped into Ermanguleth's gladiator pen, Bagunga wastes no time making friends with his new enslaved pals. And of course, he immediately begins plotting a mutiny. He first talks to Atslem, 3 exact copies of the same Fae. One old, one middle-aged, and one young. As a Fae, they were originally born in the First World, where they brought a young, cringe wine to dinner, instead of the old, aged one that their master had demanded. So, deservingly, their master cast a curse on them that would create 3 differently aged copies of themselves every morning, so that they would always understand the meaning of age. But instead of letting their curse bring them down, they use it as a makeshift immortality spell. During their arena fights, they only send 2 versions of themselves. If both should die in battle, the third will always remain hidden and alive, so that when the morning comes, the curse will activate, and all copies will be reborn again. Anyway, Atslem agrees to join the mutiny, because they like Bagunga's Fae-like trickster vibes. Next up is a giant Vivakia named Ruxa. It's clearly frustrated that Ermanguleth has not been giving it any fun fights recently. Using this to his advantage, Bagunga tells it that his next fight is versus the arena's champion, Gelderfang. Foaming at the mouth, Ruxa frantically agrees to mutiny and join in that fight. Looking around for more people to turn on Ermanguleth, Bagunga sets his sights on his business partner, Zerklex. Luckily, he already wants to overthrow Ermanguleth, because he wants the arena business all to himself. Alright, here's the plan. The collar on a gladiator's neck incapacitates the captive if any violence is sensed. They're only disabled once they enter the ring, so the plan must start mid-fight. Bagunga's next one is versus the arena's champion, Gelderfang, who, and keep this on the down low, but I heard he recently underwent Nahindrian crystal surgery. During this fight, Zerklex will sneak in the rest of the party. Both Ruxa and Atslem will join in as well. While this fight is going down, Zerklex will do a murder or something on Ermanguleth, and that's our airtight plan. Walking into the arena, Bagunga notices that Hebzimira herself has shown up to watch this fight. As scary as that is, it shouldn't affect the fight. Probably, maybe, hopefully, maybe. The bell rings, the gang shows up, and they send in some warm-up.
Endure this! Make every strike count.
Both Ruxa and Atslem appear as opponents in round 2. As per their deal, Atslem comes over as an ally, but Ruxa decides to remain, because it believes it can kill Gelderfang by itself. After all, why not have 2 good fights instead of just 1?
You won't survive me.
Out of my way! Press the attack!
Ruxa falls to the ground, content that it's finally found its match. With the thud of its corpse, Gelderfang strolls into the arena, bloodthirsty.
Stretch me muscles!
As soon as Gelderfang falls, Zerklex enters the arena with Ermanguleth in custody. As a sign of friendship, he offers the kill to Bagunga. But, well, Bagunga's weird, twisted trickster mind had a different idea. As Ermanguleth begs for his life, Bagunga has a thought. It would make no sense to leave the arena business in the hands of a nerdy numbers guy like Zerklex. It needs an entertainer, a psycho like Ermangaleth. So, he does what any sane mortal would do. He permanently fuses both their bodies together, creating Zermangaleth. What remains of Zerklex can be heard asking Bagunga why he would do this to him, but it's overshadowed by Ermangaleth's guttural laugh. Truly a man who understands a good prank. Anyways, that's their problem. The group is back together, and all is well. They return to the Nexus for a well-deserved nap. Woljif wakes Bagunga up in the middle of the night, or whatever is considered that in the Abyss. He says that lately he's been feeling weak and inadequate. But he then says that his shadow can help him fix that. All he has to do is go to an abandoned mansion on the upper ring that his shadow has been obsessively telling him about. Well, no red flags there. So they wake the rest of the party and head to the upper ring. Inside they find Voatial. It explains that Ichphilis once settled down in Alushinra. But Hebzimira made sure that didn't last long at all. She ordered the death of all the weak spawn of Baphomet. Obviously, Voatial accepted this job and slew Ichphilis. But it's always felt like the job wasn't quite done yet. It found out about the Moon of the Abyss and how it harbors a remnant of the soul and power of Ichphilis. And it also found it in the hands of Woljif. Before they can ask it to elaborate,
Time to stretch me muscles.
standing over Voatial's body, Woljif begins burning with blue flame. His magical shadow begins expanding and reveals itself as Ichphilis. He expresses how proud he is of Woljif. After all, he's the only one of his spawn that made it this far. Right before dying, Ichphilis poured his soul and power into the Moon of the Abyss, and then passed it down to his family, so that one day one of his spawn would bring it down to the Abyss and revive him. This isn't a full revival. He would still need to reside in someone's body. So, in exchange for incredible power, he wants to reside in Woljif's. Bagunga and Woljif know that a deal from a demon is never so easy. So they ask him to show them what he can do. Suddenly, they are disembodied spirits, watching a young Woljif getting chased in the streets of Canabrius. Clutching his stolen bread, he begs his grandmother to hide him. But instead, she scolds him for being such a weak, pathetic loser. Ichphilis tells him that with his power, he could easily blow away those that chase him. But Bagunga reassures him that he has no need for that kind of power. He's made friends that can protect him. So together, they beat the shit out of these law-abiding citizens. The vision fades, and Woljif denies his grandfather's power. Losing his autonomy is not worth the upgrade.
Did we find trouble? No, they did. Endure this!
Damn it all.
You won't survive me.
Chief, I mean... Thanks. I'm with you to the end, Chief. Why are you looking at me? I'm not crying. My voice is like this because my throat's dry. It's dusty in here. Hey, Chief, let's clean this place out from top to bottom so not even a speck of gold is left behind.
Now that Woljif has had his time in the limelight, Lon drops to a knee and begins leaking black liquid from his eyes. muttering something about Savamelek being nearby. Bagunga, and frankly every other living being in sight, asks what the hell is wrong with him. He explains that he's a living game of hot and cold. The closer he gets to Savamelek, the more he, leaks. Obviously, they can't just let Lan spill everywhere. It's probably against demon law or something. So they search for Savamelek using Lan's flow. This house seems to be making Lan's flow especially heavy. Sure enough, Savamelek is found within, vibing with his gaggle of corrupted mongrels. It nonchalantly welcomes Lan as just another one of its corrupted mongrels. But whether it be because of the commander's presence or Lan's sheer will, he remains in control. Realizing that Lan is not one of its pawns, it begins dropping lore. Savamelek explains that an angel once took an army of humans to the abyss through the whirlwind. It didn't take very long for them to get lost and confused. Desperate and out of rations, the humans began salivating at the thought of some well-seasoned angel meat. Outnumbered, the angel quickly became dinner. As they consumed this angel's corpse, the humans' leader revealed themselves to be Savamelek in disguise. Savamelek then offered these poor desperate souls a way out of the abyss. But, in exchange, the humans would have to offer their firstborns over to Savamelek's influence. And that's how the mongrels of Canabrius were born. Distraught by this information, Lan uses whatever strength he can muster up to liberate his people.
Let's have some fun.
Kneel before me. Out of my way.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Unfortunately, Savamelek is gone. And the party can't follow it to Galarian because, well, they still have business to take care of in the Abyss. Hopefully, the mongrels of Canabrius can hold out until the party return. And, just like the mongrels of Canabrius, you'll have to wait for my return. Because, well, that's all I got. If you happen to have extra time on your hands, consider checking out my friends, the Naanless Shorts channel, and the Discord. All links in the description. And as always, please like, sub, and remember to hand in your 20-page essay about the sheer beauty of this outro.